here and do some channeling this morning because since I've been channeling and doing this work and talking about the telepathy tapes, things have started to shift in my life and even the way my consciousness is working. And I just want to use this as an experiment to see. I mean, I know my channeled artwork is something. I don't know where it's going or what it's doing. I don't even know why I necessarily need to do these lives, but I'm here creating my intuitive art, doing this work because I'm starting to see change in my own life. And I want to share with you how to make that change for you. Let me just let my dogs back in. What are you guys doing? Come on. Do you want to come in? Good papa. Freya can stay out for a bit. Hey, she can stay out for a bit. So hi, I'm Emma Smallbone. I'm a forest whisperer, a wild healer, and an intuitive artist. I have worked in many different medium and many different fields in my life. And right now I'm training to be a psilocybin facilitator. So I can help other people like myself who are autistic do this for their brains. And I've actually learned how to do this without psilocybin as well. It actually correlates to our energetic cycle and then the energetic cycle of the earth. And once you tune into that and you feel the rhythms and the ebb and the flow, your life just gets significantly better. And I have started to integrate all of these things into my life and I've seen amazing results. So I want to start sharing this more with my community. Hang on, I just gotta let my puppies in. Come on, pups. Can you get? Here, I'll bring them over so you can see. Here, pups. Come meet everybody. Come on. Oh yeah, you'll be able to see them. So this lovely one, that's Freya. She's amazing. And then I don't know if you'll see this little monster. This is Odie. I don't really like to encourage him to jump up, but come here, Odes. This right now is my biggest distraction, and he's amazing for puppy cuddles and regulating my nervous system. And I will actually say, if you are struggling in life, don't go out and get a puppy. That is not a good idea. But invite joy in. Like, I know for me, my relationship with animals is one of the strongest relationships in my life, that I've always been connected to animals and nature. And when I don't have a connection to that in my life, it kind of goes sideways. So a lot of my work has been being in the forest and connecting back to nature, connecting back to animals, connecting back to my ancestral work. Okay, Odie, you can go. And what I've learned through all of this is your body knows. Like, once you just let go of thinking you have the answers or our society has the answers, and you sit here and you go, wait a second, there has to be something else. Because where does this come from? This isn't, I'm not sitting around going, hey, this is what I'm going to draw today. This is just showing up and I allow it to come out. And it's interesting. I look at the images, I take pictures all throughout the process, and it evolves and it turns into different things. I'll start showing some of the process. I'll post some pictures in the community feed here on YouTube. I post a lot of stuff on Instagram, but if you want to see all of my content, it's over on the Wild Healing. And what I've learned is we have to have, I don't want to say a balance, but this kind of understanding of how our body is connected to all things, and it is connected to all things. It's connected to the collective energy. We're here on this planet, and we're consuming food that grows from this planet. We're consuming oxygen that is produced by trees. How would we not be connected to those things? I have always felt this connection in my body. And now only, and the chat on here is about the telepathy tapes, now only through the telepathy tapes have I started to understand what it is that I'm really doing. So if you haven't heard about the telepathy tapes, this is Kai Dickinson's podcast about nonverbal autistics and how they connect to everything, and that we are able to communicate through the field, which is the collective energy that goes through everything. And I've always talked about that in my work. And as a spiritual individual, I started out doing mediumship through the Spiritualist Church, and then kind of moved on to shamanism, and now really just doing the work that my ancestors did. Through all of this, I have made those connections, and it wasn't until I heard the podcast that I actually understood it all. Because again, it's this confirmation, it's clarification, because I never heard the words that I was feeling in the spiritual community. And I was never able to have conversations about what I was experiencing in my body and in my mind, because my lovely autistic brain, Odie, that's enough water, dude. Hey, he sometimes needs to be reminded. He doesn't need to drink it all. So it's amazing to me that since my brain has opened up to this idea that yes, it's not something spiritual, that I am actually connecting to this thing. And whenever I did my mediumship work, I sense you have a dog, yeah. I have two dogs. I introduced them, Odie and Freya. They are my trusted little sidekicks. They will probably show up throughout all of this. But the more that I let go of trying to understand it the way that I was trying to understand it spiritually, and I just let whatever it is in here flow, whether that's words or whether that's art or whether it's Odie! Oh my God, okay. My son. Oh, here we go. So, sorry about that. I have an autistic son who has pretty much everything that I have, which is a 10% working memory. So my kid doesn't remember to do any of the things that I need him to do to have a puppy in the house. So I have to go around every single morning and clean up and make sure there's absolutely nothing on the floor, because I have 12% working memory. And I've just learned a system. This is the thing about being autistic. I have ADHD extreme combined. It's really intense. You'll probably see throughout this how much my attention shifts and how I'm kind of like bopping and booping between 3 or 4 different things. And even while I'm doing this and making sense to you, I'm having 6 other conversations in my head. I've realized, and this is the other thing, I'm 48 and I'm only just realizing all of this. So that's why it's this big flood of information that comes out of us, because it's like, oh my God, now I can make all the connections. My lovely autistic brain sees everything and always has. And I don't think I'm going to be able to do these videos for much longer if I don't get my dog a new Chewy. So as I do this work, I'm receiving messages through the imagery. I'm receiving messages just through shifting this, and even just talking about it, I can feel things moving through my body. And when I say that, if you've ever had any experience with trauma whatsoever, of course I have crystals, but I don't really use them the way I used to use them anymore. We live in Ontario, Canada, and we're just at the end of the escarpment. And this is quartz that came right out of my ground. And I have like big chunky things, but I don't use crystals. I say to people, leave them in the ground. They are there for a reason. You don't need to hold them in your hand. You can just think about them. You don't actually physically need the things, people. The things are just to convince you that you're able to do it. You don't need the things. It's all in here. It's all energy. And that's what I've been trying to teach the spiritual community forever. It's not about the things. Yes. Do I have the coolest fucking wand in the world? Of course I fucking do. But like, this was found in nature when I was 14. I didn't buy it. And it's way cooler than any of those Harry Potter wands, just so you know. You don't need to buy anything. It's all available. Every single tool that I've ever received. Odie, even this for clearing energy, I have received from nature itself. I don't actually go out and buy anything anymore, which is crazy because I used to own a metaphysical shop. And that's what I'm talking about, this energy, this new energy that we're feeling, and why everybody is like, yes, the telepathy tapes could actually be real, when I've been talking about this stuff for over a decade and very few people wanted to believe me. The vibration and the poles of the planet have shifted. And if you want to look into it, you can. Scientifically on NASA. They announced it the other day that the poles have officially shifted and we have to change everything. It's affecting everything. It's affecting how we receive information. And that's why it's getting easier for all of us to communicate about this stuff and people not freak out about it. I have some repressed yet that comes back in waves. Yeah. ASMR totally calms you. I have like all sorts of trauma in my body. I have medical trauma, education trauma, childhood trauma, all sorts. And it is waves. One of my friends, actually, my friend who's teaching a neurobiology course at the University of Guelph, Kelsey, she's amazing. She said this thing of, when you feel that pain in your body, it's that emotion or that trauma coming up and saying, we're ready to leave. So if we push it back down, if we ignore it and we go, I just got to get on with my work. I don't need to do this. I just need to get busy and go back to work. If we do that, it gets worse and it gets more painful. For the last 24 hours, I've had really intense pain in my legs. And I know it's this trauma of being seen, being heard, me telling my truth. All of my ancestors were always prosecuted. We are seers and healers, and nobody was believed. So that is in my bones, that nobody ever believed me. And then I grew up in this world as an autistic adult, and nobody believed me about what was going on in my brain. So now that I'm talking about the telepathy tapes and I'm talking about all of my connections, I'm getting these pains in my legs because I'm so afraid of people not supporting me, people not believing me, people not trusting me, because that is a theme in my life. I will tell you, if you just face that head on and just do the thing and talk about it and all of the things, it's easier. I can feel, even as I say this, because I've become so connected to my body, I can feel the pain in my legs shifting and I can feel it moving down. And the last part is always in my heel and it drives me crazy, and it will just sit there and sit there and sit there and sit there until I go, I'm ready to let it go. And this is the process. I have to move and I have to make these big movements. If you are new here, I'm a forest whisperer and a healer. I used to channel light language and give out all of these tones, and that shifted something for me in my body, and it's allowed me to get wherever this is. So if you want to do some shifting in your life, if you want to make some change in your life, start moving your body. Whatever feels good for you. And yes, if you are in trauma therapy, so somebody says, I used antidepressants for years after acting out through my teens. Yeah, same. Yeah, and I used all sorts of tools in the spiritual community to heal, but I will tell you, ultimately, it comes down to having a relationship with your body. If you're not listening to your body, there is no point. So what is your body telling you? Yes, the crystals can help. They can, I will tell you, and this is so funny, I learned after becoming autistic that I really like proprioception. So I have all sorts of weights and I do weightlifting and I like really heavy things. And if you ever look at my crystal collection, they're not the small crystals, they're the heavy ones. And they're the ones that are all calming. So we always go after the things that we need. Sodalite is a calming stone, and it's good for your throat chakra. Shocker. And look at this one, it's got a bloody cross in it. This one is one that allowed me to really come out, but it's not because of the rock. It's not because it's the crystal. It's because I can acknowledge it's the weight of the rock that I like. It's that I need calming. It's that I need to learn to speak my truth. These were all hints. We were learning a language. It's not the actual crystal that does it. It's your body. This is the hint. Now listen to what it's hinting towards, right? Taking hikes and walking in nature. Yeah, all of it works. I have this course, Forest Whispering, and I take people out into the woods to learn to listen to the whispers that are in the woods so we don't have to bring these big giant chunks of things to our home, or we don't have to spend the money on these things and think that this is the solution. This is just the clue. It's not the solution. It's just telling you, it's hinting your body in the right way. You're becoming attuned to the things. So when you actually go, oh, what's my body telling me? And you don't need outside pieces, that is when you are in flow. When you can actually just regulate yourself by not having to hold the heavy crystal, but you can just go, what did that feel like? Okay, let me go back there. That felt really good. The energy, and you bring the energy of the crystal with you. You don't need to physically bring it anymore because your body is in tune. And that is what all of these telepathy tapes, it's what they're talking about, is we need to become in tune with our bodies. When I wasn't paying attention to my body, my physical body, and what it was telling me, I was so sick, I was so depressed, I was so overwhelmed. But as soon as I started using my body like a pendulum, and I would literally stand there and go, show me what is a yes. So backwards is a yes for me. And show me what a no is. And oh, it's a little bit to a right. So you literally ask your body, and I can do that. What's the best way to show? Oh yeah, I know it's going backwards. And what is a yes? It's a lean to the right. Okay, so you just keep asking and you just listen to so I can ask myself, is coffee okay for me? And it's a yes. And then you can stand here and you can go, is alcohol bad for me? Or is alcohol good for me? And it's neutral. I'm not getting a yes or a no. Oh, bye, Gord. Thanks for hanging out. Everybody's awesome. So here's the thing. Allow your body to be the clue. That is what all of these telepathy tapes are saying, is all of these kids are having to find their bodies and tune into their bodies. And when they're finally connected with their mind and body, they are able to have these communications. And that is what we're doing. As an autistic, the more that I tune into my body, the more that I connect with my body, the stronger these messages are, the more clear my messages are. And now I know exactly what I should be doing instead of like guessing and asking the cards and going, okay, guys, what should like, guys, I don't know. I don't trust myself. I should ask the cards. Let's ask the cards because I have no fucking clue. I'm completely lost. Your past supports your future. Yes, I know, because I taught all of this stuff before. For a decade, I've taught all of this work. And now I'm realizing that the embodiment and the integration part is the most important part. And I learned that through my psilocybin training. So allow yourself to trust that there is something bigger going on, that it's more. It's bigger than just a rock helping you. It's not the rock, it's you. This is the clue. And then it's you tuning into your body and just giving it what it needs, whether that's weighted existence, whether that's coffee, whether that's, mushrooms, whether it's whatever it needs to be. But listen to your body. And if it's asking you to create some weird, wonderful artwork for a community and come on and channel, even though you have no idea what is going to come of it, just do it. Oh, I knew I was going to do that. I dipped my feather in my coffee. Let's see how this looks. I knew I was going to do it. I should have moved it. I kept saying to myself, you're going to dip it in the coffee. And that's how it works. Because I kept saying, you're going to dip it in the coffee. And I did dip it in the coffee. Okay. So that is my wild wisdom for today. Go and listen to the telepathy tapes. Come back and tell me what you think. And let me know if you're autistic and have moments of going nonverbal and you felt this before, because that's who I want to connect with. I want to connect with people who have experienced this energy, have experienced this feeling of when I'm in that energy, it is just all consuming and it's like you go into another place. That other place is the hill, people. And I will tell you, I have been working under the hill for the past decade, and the telepathy tapes gave me the language to be able to speak these words to you because I had never had this conversation with anybody else before. So please, if you are interested in the telepathy tapes, come and join the conversation. I want to start a conversation in my community and see how many more parents are having these experiences. We used to experience telepathy with my son as a kid. We are both autistic and we both go mute. So I truly believe it's not just nonverbal. I think it is people who spend a lot of time in here and not in the outside world. And when you can learn to understand how to use that inner world to help your outer world, it becomes incredibly magic. So come and learn how to do that in the wild healing. I'm Emma Smallbone. I'm a forest whisperer from Canada, and I want to teach you how to do what I do so we can help this planet reset, because there is change coming and I want it to be for the good. And if you come along and start to put energy back into a community that wants things for the highest and the greatest good, we can achieve that. So let's start making some change together. Come to the wild healing and I'll help you find your way and live divergently. Bye for now, wildlings.